Brum, 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 brum. Alrighty, started the strip, so taking everything off the body on this one. So pretty excited to get it done, although we have a sunny day today. It's meant to be storming all week, so this is maybe the only day this week I get to work. But just, yeah, disconnecting everything. We'll eventually lift this body off, plonk it down, and then lift that body over this chassis.
You've made such a mess in here, Josh. There's stuff everywhere. He's undoing the steering column at the moment. So you undo the wiring there to the dash, because you got this car's got ABS and everything. And everything comes off. You just take it off the inner guards, go straight in, sit on top of the motor. The radiator doesn't even need to come out. Just lift the, we'll just lift it up like that, and everything stays there. Body goes. The hard part's going to be just, well, it's not hard. And then it'll get dumped down in here, and then all that junk will be just already fitted. And I know the dash looks like a nightmare, but it's just plugs, and they all each have a home, and everything just sort of finds its way home. With wiring, it's like that. How's it going down there, Josh?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah?
Top better.
It's time for this monstrosity to go in that car. Let's do it.
Bugger in.
We're 2/3 of the way there.
2/3? I suppose we are. We've got two bodies off, and you need to put one back together. Oh, I busted my pupil valve, Josh.
I think you busted more than that.
Oh, a poopy.
Boys and their toys. What do you do about it?
It's fun.
Looking forward to the clean up.
Just loves the car parks everywhere.
Julie does not love the car parks
And she's
everywhere.
just going on long service leave, so we have to put up with her all the time.
I know, that's something in my pocket for you.
Yeah. And me too. Oh, I've lost it. So you enjoyed the drive, did you, Jules?
Oh, fantastic.
Good to hear. Hey, for you guys who are envious, we might change the back shocks while we're here.
Since we can access
Zip,
it.
we could just blurt gun them straight off.
Oh, yeah, that would be hard without.
Oh yeah, with the chassis here, you got like, and it's lock and thread, so it's like the world's biggest nightmare. In fact, if I ever had to do the shocks I'd undo the cab bolts. It's only 6, and you can access them all. Now jack the cab up, undo the shockies and do it, and then let it down, bolt them back up again.
Yeah, you wouldn't even need to disconnect anything.
Nah, there's enough movement there. And you don't even need to jack up the front. You could leave the 2 very front ones alone and just jack the back up.
Yeah, that's always good
And
to
that's
know.
how I do them.
All right, signing out. We're just getting this thing ready for the lift in, but we've had a couple people wondering why we didn't just pluck the engine out and a few things and pop it in. So,
Yeah.
do you want to maybe give a bit more depth on one of the reasons why we're doing a chassis change?
Yeah, well, because we had to change the wiring harness already, because with a lot of the wiring harness, all the electric doors and everything, we would have spent a month soldering it. All the cutting them off Josh's current car and putting them onto the white chassis. So it was easier just to pull it apart and just put everything in that's not been cut and broken. You know, all the suspension in the rear had been removed and bits and pieces missing, bolts and stuff. Cables had just been randomly cut throughout the whole car, so that you just couldn't trust anything. The gearbox was different. This one has a electronic lock and stuff, which matches the wiring harness. So you sort of have to consider whether we have to change the gearbox on at the same time. And then you have sort of mating problems where one gearbox is slightly different to the other, and like it doesn't interface the same, and the electronics is different, and it's like just an absolute nightmare. Plus tons of wires and stuff on the engine itself had been, so the whole engine wiring harness had been snipped, and the brake system was non-ABS. To transfer all the ABS onto this thing, you have to change every little sensor. It's a thing. Plus you have to unclip all the wires, which is a nightmare. It was just tons of work to actually make that chassis work with this chassis, like to make them. I'm not explaining myself.
No, you are. That's perfect. Yeah, we had the full braking system, exhaust, transmission, wiring, looms, plus the cut in places that we didn't even know that were under the body.
All the rack and pinion has been pulled out, and I shoved it in roughly, but I had to put in all the rubbers and stuff, so I still have to dismantle this chassis to do it and stuff. It's sort of like better just to undo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts here, 10 bolts. The thing lifts off, and everything else just look. It just unplugs.
Yeah.
You know, that just plugs in, and that's all your fuel tank plugs done. You go over here, the wiring harness, this, it just unplugs.
Yeah.
It's really simple. That's all what's holding it into the body. And there's another one on the other side.
Yeah.
The worst thing was I had to take off, because I was scared I was going to damage it, was the brake booster, which would be sitting there, still connected, but I just scared I was going to bend it or damage it. All the rear air conditioning lines are in there. The exhaust system is in, everything is in. It sort of like makes so much sense just to do it that way.
Yeah.
So, it only takes 10 minutes to lift it off and put it back on again, do those 10 bolts off. And how long does it take to plug these in, you know? And throughout the car and nip up a couple of 10 mil, just little 10 mil things.
Yep.
Your fuel tank, there's a lot of room under this car. That's your fuel tank breather line, and there's your fuel line, and there's your breather line, feedback line.
Yeah, pretty much within 4 hours we could have the body off from unbolting everything.
Yeah.
So,
And to do it the other way, if you got it right, which you would eventually, it's like 2 days work.
not only that, like I also wanted to keep this a VX, not a GXL.
Yeah.
And that way we're keeping it a VX or a Grande, whatever you want to call it.
Yes, so it just works for us this way. Because Josh, we've done up all the brakes and suspension in this, not all of it, but some of it. the rack and pinion, all that stuff was all replaced. The picture. Yeah, so it just didn't make any sense to do it any other way, especially when the part we wanted was the body, and the body was the bent bit. So we're just replacing the bent bit, essentially.
Yeah. Seems like a big undertaking, but it's actually not that bad, really. Like, I mean, we're just doing it.
It's good fun, and Josh has learned a lot. It's actually good fun.
Yeah, I've learned heaps. I'm really pleased how much I've learned.
Anyway, we've got so much footage here we can't use it all.
That's all right. Anyway, signing out. Say goodbye.
Cheerio.
Just a status update. The vents from the other Prado I've moved into this car because there's an air conditioning unit in the back here. I've also got to cut a hole for it. The wiring harness as well, I've had to strip out. So this was the old one for the roof. The reason is, I'll show you. So on the other Prado, these have bigger mirrors and a light. And on this one, there's, well, one of them doesn't even have a light, and the other one's just a little mirror. So it's just these extra plugs here that wiring harness had on it. And I got it up perfect. I'm really happy with how it came out and in. So I'm pretty pleased with it. Now I've just got to get the roof lining in. Happy days. Okay, moment of truth. We think we're ready to start, aren't we?
You plug all the fuel tank plugs in?
Yep. It's like it never... Except the colour change, yeah. My little status update. Andrew's been working at the front. I've been working in the back. Get everything clipped back in. Feeling good, Dad?
Yep, terrific.
You should clip that little... Yeah, look at that, another job done. Well, we didn't film a lot of it because it's just naggly little things, but she's all back together. We've got a blinker on the way. It's all driving. All the interior's in. Just needs a really good clean. Got the drawers back in. Everything's good. We are going to get some white paint the bonnet. We're also going to repaint these. I think we're just going to, they are silver, but we're going to, for sure we're just going to paint them white, make the whole car white. And we've got a few other guards, well, not guards, what are we going to call these, on the other car that are in better condition. So we're going to swap them out, well, paint them white, swap them out. But overall, it's all back together. It's all driving. I'm pretty pleased. It was a bit of a momentous task, and sorry about this last episode. We didn't film much of it, but it's just a nut and bolt here and there under the car, putting in a seat. It was just, when you're so stuck into it, you forget about setting up the camera. But yeah, anyway, if anyone has got a 90 series aluminium bull bar they want to sell me, let me know, because I'd like to put a bull bar in front of this with a winch. But yeah, anyway, signing out.